Yo,
Oh,
What?
okay. So someone else is here. Okay, cool. I
Cracking?
was gonna ask, is it just gonna be us? I forgot to
King-
ask that before we started.
Yeah, no, you're good. King Chris, what's up, buddy? Hope you're still around. Ronnie, of course, thank you for showing up, buddy. And what's up, Roman? What a goddamn intro.
yeah, that's a fire ass intro, dude. I haven't seen that before. You never showed me that. That's awesome.
Me and Kings made that. He gets the credit for actually putting it together, but we were both
I was
in.
gonna say every time I see you and Caleb's intros, it makes me be like, okay, I need to keep working on mine and making it better.
Yeah. What up, buddy? So tonight's going to be an interesting one. We got some footage that got leaked this week, called, and it's basically being titled as the. What's up, Paris? Thanks for stopping by, buddy.
What's up, Purist?
So this one's cool. It's called the Jellyfish UAP or UFO. It's, to me, it 100% looks like a probe droid from Star Wars. So
I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah. So this thing looks
Yeah.
cool. I got a couple articles we're gonna cover, and then we'll just like talk about in general our opinions on the matter itself. I'm inclined to think it might be human made, but there's some things from Jeremy Corbell that have been, so like it dips into the water and then shoots out at a 45-degree angle. So, but there's no footage of that itself. I still think there's a possibility that this could be a human-made piece of technology. One of the weird things about the thermal imagery is that it goes from white to black. And so typically it's a little, that doesn't really happen when you're getting things in the thermal optics. So
yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, we'll go into it and talk about it. First off,
Jeremy Corbell footage. This didn't come out from like the UAP task force group or anything.
I think Jeremy Corbell had something to do with putting it out, but I could be wrong on that. There isn't much information. There isn't much information on this. It literally just got leaked this week. But Jeremy Corbell had something to do with it. But
Gotcha.
First of all, before we get started, Crimson, how are you doing, buddy?
Fine, I guess. Kind of had an early day, and spent the rest of the day finishing up my video for tomorrow and working on my video for Saturday.
Nice. And how about you, Rollo? How are you doing, buddy?
Good. Didn't have that long a day at work. I had a stream with you this morning. That was fun. And other than that, I'm excited to talk about this stuff because I have not seen this yet. So
Totally. So maybe let's start out with the footage I have, and then we'll read the articles. I hope this works. Crimson, I might have to send it to you, but I know your internet isn't that great either. But let's. Hopefully this works.
We're supposed to have business internet, but it doesn't behave like business internet anymore.
Okay, so let me rewind and let's just play this through.
Never does and never will, Crimson.
You guys hear it?
Not look like a traditional UFO, like a sphere or.
All right, that guy sounds like a retard, so we're not going to put the volume on. Okay,
he puts the re in retard.
Do you guys see that? That's what I'm talking about. It fades into the the white, I believe, is supposed to be hot. Am I correct? Yeah. And then black is cold.
White is hot.
No, it looks like white is hot and black is cold because as you see the shadows underneath the building and on the back sides of all those pylons there, it's black. So I'm assuming that black means it's cold. White is going to mean that it's hot.
It could be changing its heat signature to try and not be seen by whatever's seeing it.
Later on, I'll try to find the clip of Jeremy Corbell talking about it because he does a much better, intelligent job.
Is there more footage of this thing or just that?
No, it's the same footage, but Jeremy Corbell's the guy who helped. Yeah, it's a probe droid, exactly, Ronnie.
Okay, so pause it. I do see what Ronnie's saying, but before we get into Jeremy Corbell at all, do we ever question why these military shots, when it's something this slow, why don't you just follow it until it goes somewhere? Like
I couldn't be able to argue that or speak to it. I'm not really sure. Let's just keep this going for a second here.
I'm assuming this is on a drone then, and those drones have limited fuel and they're kind of expensive to operate. So my guess is they already had a mission that was assigned them and they couldn't, pull off the mission to follow that. That would be
Well, and
the
also-
official excuse I would expect.
It's either
We'll-
an AC-130 right there.
We'll read. That's what kind of what I was going to say. We'll read into this. This is actually, I think, I don't know if this is a U.S. base, but this is a U.S. This is U.S. government footage being taken in Iraq in 2018. So I just want to make that clear that this didn't just happen. It's been it's been about 6 years, but it's like it's pretty compelling footage. It's not doing any wild shit other than changing colors. But like, I don't think I've seen anything that looks like that. I still think there's a possibility of it being a drone of some sort. I'm not fully convinced that it's some out of the world technology
we
yet.
Probably know about them by this point, though. But then again, maybe it does look like a probe droid because it is a probe droid, because Star Wars came out and some
For sure.
scientist was like, "That's a good design. I'm going to use that."
I'm going to bring up one article right now. Leaked. Okay, right here. Ignore the underwear on the right side if you guys can.
That's all I'm going to be looking at.
Yeah.
I was going to say, what article are you talking about?
Nice
Shocking
personalities.
Shocking footage reveals a jellyfish-looking UFO hurtling in the skies over Iraq, an investigative filmmaker has claimed. So this was leaked by Jeremy Corbell.
It didn't look like it was that high off the ground, though.
It's kind of the angle. I'm pretty sure it's probably like 100 or 2 feet above, right? I would imagine.
Yeah, you gotta kind of interpret based on where.
Yeah,
where the
especially
video is being filmed from.
If you're hundreds of feet out, and then you're above what this object is being, like the object that's being filmed. If you're above that, it's going to distort the actual height of what the object is floating at. But let's just get into this article. Jeremy Corbell said that the leaked video was captured by the U.S. military in 2018, and troops were told to hunt it down. Jeremy Corbell claims the leaked video is real and was buried by the intelligence service. I don't doubt that at all. I think there's stuff that we're not being told about these specific videos, and people love to claim and argue like, oh, well, why don't we get high definition footage of these things by people that are, just standing around and seeing them with their iPhones in their hands. And we're going to kind of touch on that later. There's a couple other photos of things that happen in different areas with similar looking objects, you could say. But at the end of the day, if the government has high definition photographs or videos, they're not going to just share it with the public.
No, they're not.
Right?
No way.
Well,
yeah. So
because they feel like, go ahead.
No, I was just going to address King Chris. So no footage of it going on the water. No, there isn't. But Jeremy Corbell, King Chris, I'm sure you know the Bob Lazar story. Jeremy Corbell is known to help. Like, he kind of helped Bob Lazar research the story. I think Jeremy Corbell, James Fox, and Bob Lazar are one of the most believable characters in this whole realm of conspiracy theory and aliens. I don't obviously believe 100% everything these people say, but Jeremy Corbell has a decent amount of track record of at least putting things out and being able to show the public certain things that a lot of people are unwilling to understand or believe. So I would say I'll take his word on this for the most part. The Virginia case that I know that we all covered, that we all covered on this channel previously, was a big story that has a lot of, I think, truth to it, a lot more than what people have to say. And so when Jeremy Corbell puts stuff out, I tend to kind of be on the side of all right, I'm going to give this more of a chance than usual. right? Other than some random person that is just kind of talking some bullshit. But no, to answer your question, he didn't. There's no footage of it going in the water, but we'll play a clip of Jeremy talking about it, and it's kind of in line with a lot of the stuff that we've heard. I forget the exact terminology.
How does he know about it? Has he just been told about it?
Oh, dude, I don't think he's gonna tell us how he knows. Like he's probably,
No, I'm just saying, does he just know about it through somebody? I'm guessing. Since there
look, he's got a lot of connections. I mean, both military and probably eyewitness stuff.
Yes.
But Jeremy Corbell, I think, does his homework, and he wouldn't just leak stuff like this unless he knew A, it was safe to do so, and B, that there wasn't some ground of legitimacy, because right. So, okay, let's just read this article quickly, and then we can get into we can play the Jeremy Corbell interview or answer, however you want to view it. But the flying object can be seen switching colors from black to white as it glides over a military base. According to the filmmaker, the eerie object allegedly went into the lake and stayed underwater for 17 minutes. Then it came out and shot off into the sky at a 45-degree angle. Corbell said, "It's over a body of water. I'm told it stops on a dime, descends stiff into the water, and for 17 minutes, nothing. And boom, this thing comes out of the water and shoots off at a 45 degrees. The witness have told the investigator that the hanging legs, in quotation, were stiff and weren't moving, and the soldiers with night vision equipment couldn't detect the UFO unless they used thermal stratum. The filmmaker claims the video's legitimacy was confirmed by sources that risked getting it to him." So, this is interesting. I think
So that was seen at night then. Interesting.
No, it looks like that's captured in the day, and then later on they sent out a team to chase it.
Yes, that's what I also think happened.
It could be it then.
Let me try and find. Let's just play him talking real quick.
Yeah.
So this one's confusing to me because, again, this is just research. This is just surfaced, so it's a little difficult to really gather as much information as I think we need to talk about it. What are your guys' thoughts initially on?
I'm not necessarily sure that it's human. We'd have to have something that could float like that. I'm not saying we don't. We just don't know about that technology.
Yeah, as far as that goes, I think that would be kind of like a huge revolutionary leap in technology, talking about like the whole Element 115 kind of stuff, and the ability to just shift direction and move like that, the unusual way these things move. If a human civilization right now had that technology, they would be leagues ahead of just about everything we know of.
They already would have taken over like the planet because they're ahead of everybody at that point.
Well, here's the thing is, just because a technology gets developed doesn't mean you start deploying it en masse right away. Sorry about that.
But I'm saying, like, whatever world power had that tech would make it known that they have that tech.
Mm-hmm. No, not necessarily, because I mean, when we started like developing like stealth technology, we tried to keep it secret for as long as we freaking could, so we could use it to its greatest advantage. Eventually, it gets outdated, and you get better things, and then those better things are the new secret.
Yeah, I'm saying it's not like they're gonna tell them, but they're gonna let them know, like, we've got this, and you guys don't.
The thing is, though, like, I don't think they'd be deploying these so directly into the field like that. No. If this were some real big secret that, say, China wanted to keep under the rug, I doubt they would be deploying it into areas where the U.S. is actively involved. They'd be testing it around weaker military opponents first.
Yeah, because then if it doesn't work and it goes down for some reason, then you've got...
Well, they can test the capabilities first that way, and if it works well there, then you step it up a notch.
Well, they're at the same time, like he's right with the movement. Like, think about it. The thing went into the water for 17 minutes and then came out. We have nothing that can do that.
No,
So
I'm agreeing with you on that. Is what I'm saying is
Yeah.
more likely than not, right now, I'm inclined to believe this is more likely not human.
I tend to kind of agree with that. So to King Chris's question here, did they say they couldn't see it without thermal vision? So
Yes.
based on the video,
Night
based
vision.
on the video, I would say
Night
it's
vision.
not about they couldn't see it without thermal vision. I think the real question is that they were seeing it in thermal vision, both protruding hot and cold measurements, right? So when you're in black and it's probably cold, and then while it's white, it's hot. That's not a technology that just drones happen to use. I'm going to bring on one more guest, the skeptic of the channel, my good friend, Caleb. What's up, buddy?
What's up, everybody? I'm so sorry I'm a little late. I didn't mean to, but things
Don't
went a
worry
little
about
bit
it.
longer.
Don't worry about
Wizard
it, bro.
always arrives precisely
So
when he's
this
needed.
is the man that believes this was just a smudge on a camera.
Well, okay, so all I've said is
Some lonely Air Force man left a smudge on that camera.
Yeah.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said some lonely Air Force man left a smudge on that camera.
So funny.
I
I've said that, if you pull it up, to me it looks like several smudges that you end up like wiping off your camera lens. I don't actually think it is, because it wouldn't make sense that a camera smudge oscillates between hot and cold.
Right, and then not only that, we have a crosshair right on this footage right here, and the crosshair doesn't move. And if it was a smudge, the smudge wouldn't move either. Now, to King Chris's comment right here, did they say the thing, or they couldn't see the thing without thermal vision? I think the answer is in the video itself.
Yes,
they can clearly see it moving, even when it's changing between the different definitions of the actual.
What they said as well in that article was that the Marines that followed it couldn't see it through night vision. They had to use thermal.
Now, as far as like the heat change here that seems to be apparent, it doesn't look like it's doing it for some sort of like cloaking purposes, because obviously it keeps passing in front of things that are like.
I don't think it's 200 feet up, because look at the size of those trucks, and there's.
I think that's just such a minuscule thing to focus on, is how high it was, right? This thing clearly it's clearly changing between like we don't have technology right now or drones that can switch their heat signatures, right? Like that's something that is the most compelling in terms of this might not be of this world. Why is it even changing those heat signatures, right? Now, before we move on, I just want to grab King Chris's latest comment. Going in and out of the water is a main connection between most of these different UAPs seen. Yes. And I would definitely agree with you on that. Now, we don't have footage of it going into the water and then blasting out, but let me quickly look up the title.
Can someone remind me what UAP is?
Unidentified aerial
phenomenon.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
That's the new
so
classification for it.
Remind me. Well, I mean, we might not. The people on here might not even know, but I could have sworn that we have two sets of thermal lenses, and that some of them show heat as black and some of them show heat as white.
Well, regardless if that's so, I'm pretty sure you're correct, but regardless, yes. I don't think there's one. You might be able to physically change white to black itself, but I don't think a piece of technology itself.
Well, but my question is, if that is true, what if they're just flipping through their sight settings?
Yeah, but everything else doesn't change. Just the.
I was going to say, you watch this object change.
Yeah, so
the background stays the same.
I was going to say, I've only watched the object. I don't know if the background changing.
No, that's actually though a good point to bring up. Is
it is.
the fact that we have technology that can do both of that. I would argue though, if that was the case of the person filming it, like Rolo said, the white would turn black and the black would turn white. The thing with this footage is that the object itself that's being filmed is the thing changing between colors. So
do we know what this is apparently flying above?
A military base in Iraq. I don't know if it's...
Why is this dirt hot? Why is desert? Hang on, though. Pause it real quick. Oh. Go back a couple seconds. So that dirt is cold.
Well, okay,
this is an airstrip, probably some sort of strip.
Chris is saying heat is white.
Okay. It's still question still works.
Well,
so then
he's basically asking why is there temperature differentials?
So let me say, because the light reflection is showing that it's the sun is giving off the heat source, and then like in this area, you can't see in that area, right? Like it's under shade. Right. That's what I would say, is that it's under shade.
Totally agree there.
It's a different tone.
But if you go forward just a little bit, we get where we were paused for a little bit. So now we've changed the whatever we were using. So why is that? What's up?
So I think
why is that dirt now darker, or but see this thing.
I think it's relative. I think it's relative heat. It shows the coldest areas as the darkest areas and the warmest areas as the brightest areas.
But the thing changes as the dirt changes too.
Tommy, can you pause for a second?
Yeah, I was gonna say this dog should technically be giving off a white signature if the heat is white, right? Because
is that a dog though? That's the question.
I don't know. It looks like a fucking dog to me.
What the dog doing?
Yeah, what the dog doing?
Look right up to the left. Those stairs are regular size. That's why I said the height of this thing is weird, because that means that it's probably.
That could be a dog. Dogs have very
arguably unless that's a cold-blooded lizard that's walking around, a giant lizard.
Sorry, I was in Iraq during 2018.
Yeah, it would make sense though that like the heat is white, right? Because the sunlight's shining on the stairs right here, and then the underneath in the basement area is black.
It's a good question.
So
move.
So what are these things? That's what I want to know.
What the fuck are those things?
They're dogs.
Yeah, but why? That's what I'm trying to understand. Is like, what is why are the heat signatures showing that they should technically be cold? If we look back at the video, right? So
they are moving.
It's going from it's black now, and then now it's white, like almost like it's breathing. But like the heat signature, that's the weirdest part about it, is that it's going from hot to cold on a thermal reading. So it's
look, it's really not that high off the ground.
Well, actually,
why are you so fixated? I think you're wrong about that. I think you're wrong about that being not that high off the ground.
I just did well, actually.
Is I'm like, why did nobody see that? Like, where is all the personnel that should be like patrolling or walking around? Didn't see this thing going through like that low to the ground.
Yeah, dirt could be more packed down in certain areas. Also, the black dirt that we could be looking at could have large rocks over the dirt itself, which could cause it to look cooler on a thermal reading like this. It's just, there are a few things, and I might not understand how to actually read these videos, but like the animals that are right there, I would imagine should be white if it's heat that we're talking about.
Well, one thing we do have to figure out is at what temperature is this camera regulated to see things on a different scale of light. So if it's supposed to be going black at 70 degrees Fahrenheit, then those dogs probably shouldn't be black. But if it's supposed to be going black at
that's true.
100 degrees Fahrenheit, then that's different. Those dogs, they regulate their body temperature. They should be black.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's totally true. So now that really
it's the same thing when you get pulled over. You ask the police officer, "When was the last time you checked your radar?"
Well, oh shit! Whoops. He added himself, and I pulled him out.
Why does Black Dog keep disappearing? He's being abducted.
Okay, dogs.
Aliens exist.
Since you missed the first portion, first of all, thank you for being here, brother.
I did. I apologize for the tardiness.
You're fine, dude. Don't worry about it. Tell me what you think about this. We'll just play it again. Tell me what you think about this footage, because we're sitting here trying to think about and I don't know if you have you being in the military. I don't know if you've seen like footage like this before in person, but we're thinking it's odd that this thing keeps going in and out of heat signatures. And then so pause, let me go back a bit. So this looks like an animal to us. But it's showing it as cold in my mind, and then
it's hot. It's negative. It's a negative thermal. Hot is black.
Oh,
so then this is probably taken at night or something.
I knew it.
Cooled off.
Oh, okay, good call. Because we were confused about it being.
No, they have either or. You could switch it to negative. It just depends. If it's daytime, well, in the desert in daytime, it's going to be very difficult to differentiate body heat and sand heat, but especially at night when it's mainly used, it might be easier to see the difference with a black blob on a white screen.
So we were talking about why the sand would be looking cold or hot in general. It would make sense then that the sand, all this gray area is the sun. I was saying it's the sun reflecting onto the plane that we're looking at, and then these rocks.
Could be nighttime though.
These rocks are okay. That's actually a good point that I didn't.
That's what I was saying. I thought if it's negative, it would make this nighttime, because all of that being cool would make sense, while the insides and underneath the house would be warm where people are.
Okay, so these are those barriers. They're looking at. I would argue if it was in the daytime, the sun is shining down. These should be, if it wasn't negative, it makes sense that the top of these cement barriers or plastic are white on the top, black on the bottom, because the sun is hitting the top of it first, right? So that would mean that this is not inverted, and that we're seeing this the way it should be seen, right?
Could be.
So just tell us what you think, Dog, on this thing that we're looking at right now, hovering above. Why is it going from, in your opinion, why is it going from black to white? Speculate. Obviously, we don't expect you to know, because we don't even know.
I'm trying to tell if this is even thermal.
What else do you think it could be?
Just a black and white recording monitor of nods. Just
why would it be
infrared vision?
Why would it be shifting?
Not heat. It could just be, I don't know.
So I'm saying if it was just black and white, why would it be shifting in between and nothing else is shifting? That's really the biggest curiosity, I think, of the nature of this.
That depends on its origin and what it is. I mean, if it is some kind of drone of Earth's origin, it very well could be that this is just a black and white image of infrared night vision and not thermal, and simply when it shows up on something black, it shifts to white, or just because of the light refraction or something. I don't know. Play it. Let me see when it changes to what. So it's similar color here. Seems to be getting darker. Oh, what the fuck? Well, that's crazy looking.
Yeah, it looks fucking wild, dude.
That thing's literally a probe droid.
Yeah. That's why I put the Star Wars probe droid on the thumbnail. It fucking.
I still didn't even fucking see
Roman's going to make it an exception here soon.
Yeah.
Jesus. Start throwing money at it.
It looks like a goddamn. Okay, so
Nothing to see here.
I guess this is where the lake that it like dropped into, but
where was this recorded at?
This is recorded from the U.S. military in Iraq. I don't know if this base. I don't know if this base specifically is United States Department of Energy. I don't know why they're showing us that.
Probably because the guy you muted because you said he sounded stupid.
He did sound like a retard. Yes.
Yeah, he did kind of sound.
And shot off again at a 45-degree angle. What it is, I don't know. But now, when it goes over a body of water, I do have some footage of that. This is when that same object, a jellyfish UFO, goes.
Okay, my issue with this is it's way different footage. Now it looks fucking blurry as fuck. I mean, the other one looked blurry too.
It's super distant too.
Yeah, this is way different.
That would be.
You kind of get an idea by that
jellyfish UFO.
How far these optic systems can reach. When it gets to that point where it's over the water, every source that I have talked with who is aware of this footage, that footage exists. You've got a UFO or UAP descends.
Okay, sorry, I'm an asshole. This is actually Jeremy Corbell talking.
Yeah, it is. I was going to say my only downfall to Jeremy is
Corbell?
he fucking reaches a little bit too much.
Yeah, he does.
So
You know what
is this channel just using footage from someone else's thing?
I don't fucking know, dude. Kenny thinks I just like grabbed.
Jeremy,
I just grabbed.
Jeremy
footage.
Corbell has it on his.
But I was trying to find the video of Jeremy Corbell talking, and now that I'm sitting here thinking of it, I get annoyed by Jeremy's voice, and that's why I was annoyed in the first place because I heard Jeremy talk, and I was like, "This guy sounds like a fucking retard." But now that I'm thinking about it,
right at the beginning, he sounds completely different. You sure that's not a different guy in the beginning?
No, it was Jeremy in the beginning, dude.
Well, somebody's interviewing him.
Comes back up and then shoots off 45 degrees. Now, this was taken by an intelligence agency and buried. So I don't know, man. These are the cases that spark me.
If I hadn't seen the guy before hearing that voice, I would have assumed he was like a twink or something.
Yeah, Jeremy. All right, sorry. I gotta go to the bathroom, guys. You guys talk for a second.
He kind of does. He kind of looks like.
Does he look like Timothy Chalamet?
No, he looks like.
No, he doesn't look like Rollo.
Fuck off.
Oh, Rollo's a twink, huh?
Well, I thought we established this.
If you try.
Oh, Jeremy Corbell. He's been on Rogan quite a few times. I'm pretty sure he did the whole thing about George Knapp and
he did Skinwalker Ranch
and Bob Lazar. He's like the middleman director kind of liaison for sorting through UFO and ET things. So he's heard a lot of bullshit, but my issue with him is I feel like sometimes when he finally buys in is he tries to sell it too hard, which I get it. You're excited or whatever, but it comes off as reaching sometimes with some of the points. You're like, oh, if you see and you look at it, that it does this, that indicates this. Like you're drawing that conclusion. There's no actual evidence that is because of that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I want to address what he said there because it did say in the article. He's right. It did say in the article that they could not see it with night vision. They needed thermal to see it.
I do remember seeing that in the. Yeah. So let me present this.
Is there any fucking timestamp on this shit? Like what time of day?
No, unfortunately there isn't.
Time of year?
No, unfortunately there isn't. But it said the witnesses have told the investigators that each of the hanging legs were stiff and weren't moving, and the soldiers with night vision equipment couldn't detect the UFO unless they used thermal stratum. So I would argue that the footage we were seeing was with thermal vision, not with just night vision itself.
Yes.
So it's picking
what
up
this looks like?
signatures. No, go on.
This looks like those fucking cameras that zip around on the football fields.
Oh my gosh, it does kind of look like that.
Looks just fucking like one. The way it traverses and everything.
Now, see, Daimio, this is the problem with you not watching sports.
No, it kind of does look like one.
But yeah, I mean, it's
just fuck out of here.
Gone with me.
They had a football event in Iraq, okay, and they had to
yeah, Iraq's football team, you know,
a football.
No, it's
football.
Look, okay, so this is secondhand. Like this sentence here,
Okay.
that's secondhand. Like I tend to take this type of stuff with a grain of salt because like it's not an eyewitness account. It's more of like a guy said this, right? So it's you got to kind of. We don't really know if this is true or not, right?
Right here.
Whoa, zoomed out.
So first of all,
this is dog. Okay.
First of all, I don't mind you doing this, but this is my channel. You shouldn't just take charge of the shit that I.
Yeah.
I think Pilgrim's asking the real questions here. Is the alien edible?
Yeah, that's why I ignored it totally.
Well, his other comment is dumb shit too. Maybe if sports were fun, he'd watch. But you know what, Gray Pilgrim? Maybe if you were fun, people would hang out with you.
Hey, this isn't 11 deep. Hey, this isn't 11 deep. This is aliens of conspiracy. We're not talking college football right now.
Well, if Dog keeps his thing up, we're gonna end up talking about Alabama with all that shit on the side.
Oh yeah, through that.
No, but okay. So where are you going with that, Dog? I'm genuinely interested.
Oh, there was information over here.
No, but with the
October of 18, in Iraq, and it was thermographic. So those are in nighttime. It specifies nighttime. So that tells you a little bit more.
Please explain to us then the white, because I'm still a little. I know I'm dull. But please explain to us what that means in terms of the footage that we watched. Like, was the white?
So in this, black should be hot, and white should just be like neutral. I don't know, 75 degrees, 80 degrees, whatever like room temperature is or whatever.
So because it seems kind of odd that the thing's flying. The thing is flying out in plain sight with no regard of being seen. That's why I was wondering if they needed special vision to see it, which makes sense, and which is why
the goats didn't even see it.
Yeah, look, okay, so let me ask the panel then. What do you guys think about the possibilities of this being out of world versus maybe a technology that we American civilians aren't aware of, right? Like, do you think there's a possibility of another country or our own country having hands-on technology that can do things with heat signatures like this?
100%.
Yes.
100%.
I think we could even do cloaking, to be totally honest.
Elaborate, please, because I don't want to just leave it as yes.
Which one, me or Dog?
Both of you guys. Anyone.
So I'll give you a couple of real life examples. So the first thing you got to remember is, you know, that really nifty device you do when you go to a new neighborhood and you start driving around, you don't know where you are. Well, GPS was started by the military, and it was used exclusively for the military for probably about 15 years. And then what's the company that had all of the GPS systems like 20 years ago?
Garmin or TomTom?
Garmin.
Yeah, Garmin or TomTom, both of those. Yeah. Then they basically went to the DOD and was like, hey, this would be really awesome for people so that they don't need to use MapQuest anymore. Another example in real life is, think about our cars, okay? So everything that you would consider normal in a car today, let's say heated seats, auxiliary port, things like that. That all it's a flow down system. So the brand newest shit ever, F1 and endurance, and then the luxury brands, Mercedes, Maybach, not really Audi. Audi is usually after them, but Mercedes, Maybach, and there's one other, I forget their name. They get the stuff for performance after F1 and endurance test it for like 3 or 4 years. And then they test it and try to figure out how to make it cheaper for the poor people. And then Audi and Volks and all of them test it and make sure to figure out how to make it cheaper for the even poorer people. And then Ford and all of them get it, and they're like, okay, so this is as cheap as we can make it, huh? So by the time a Ford car has, heated seats or something, the Mercedes and shit like that has had it for 15 years.
So
that's my example right there.
To Dog's point there, where Dog said that he believes that we absolutely probably have, cloaking technology. Did any of you guys see the new Audi? I believe it was an Audi car that came out that actually can change color. It's like a button on it.
Is it a
whole thing literally changes?
Actual thing, or is it a concept?
Yeah, but that's not changing. There's
only one of them in existence right now. It's like a prototype, but it works. But my point being is that they're starting to roll out stuff like that. I mean,
okay. Changing colors is one thing. Changing heat signatures in under a thermal light
I know,
is 100% different.
You have technology to change.
Not if it's mechanical.
Well, especially at that rate, you would have to have some serious chemical reactions going on in order to change the temperature that much.
I'm really upset that I can't find the actual interview with, because I had seen it before with Jeremy Corbell, and like Dog was saying, he tends to reach a lot, but he was talking about how the technology to be able to change your heat signature is a lot different than being able to change your outer color. Right. So that's really why I'm trying to bring this up, is that I feel like that technology is a lot higher than what we are capable of right now.
Well, so I have a question. And this might need to go to Dog, since he's obviously has experience with thermals. But let's say we know that black collects the most light, which means it gets the hottest, and white reflects the most light, which means it stays the coolest. So if this thing were to basically be flying around going from black to white, without regards to the whole, okay, well, that's good, it's doing it really quickly. Couldn't that theoretically transition from being hot and cold if it's going from collecting a lot of heat to reflecting a lot of heat?
Something to keep in mind as well, though. So this is thermal, right? But it's also infrared.
Okay.
So infrared light is still bouncing off to be able to brighten the image.
Okay.
So that may make a difference. Now, say it has some kind of reflective panels or something, and maybe as it turns, it could change. I'm not sure. I'm reaching a little bit on that one, but that is another element. It does say IR up top. So
what you need, Daimyo, for this stream is you need a scientist that knows about light refraction.
Yeah, yep. Well, I will let you guys know when I find a scientist that wants to come on to a channel like mine to talk about.
Give me another, 20 minutes, and I'll become an expert.
I'm sure you will. Well, actually,
Caleb, maybe when he has as many subs as you.
Oh my God! Stop that!
Yeah.
I didn't say it. now is that about the subs or?
The opinions discussed here today do not accurately depict the true thoughts and beliefs of the Gatekeepers Daimyo or the.
Well, they definitely depict the true thoughts or beliefs of Rolo Philbs.
Look, this one's crazy because it's they're really, a lot of these older UFO stories, like there's a bunch of shit you can go to and click on. This one legitimately is like, we have this one footage and we have one guy talking about it right now, which I think it's important to bring up. And unfortunately, I'm still on the side. This might be a piece of technology that is human made, and I'm not really convinced that it's an outer world. I think there's a high possibility that it's a drone. Now, I'd like to know for you guys on the panel, what do you think about that? Are you inclined to think it's something outer world, or do you think it's something that we can make and it's possible that we have it?
So I have a question about what you said. You said, unfortunately, I think it's
human made. I do.
So why do you say unfortunately?
Because a lot of people so far, from what I've been looking into this stuff, and we'll get into the Twitter side of things, a lot of people are thinking this is a straight up UFO. It's not from this world. They're buying in immediately without question that it's going into the water and shooting off out into space. There's no footage of that. So I'm saying unfortunately, because as someone that loves the conspiracy stuff and aliens, and as much as I want to believe, I just am not convinced yet that this is something that is totally out of this world, like the Bob Lazar story, because the Bob Lazar story has many things that you have to kind of admit that are like the element 115, right? So he was talking back in the 80s, there's this element 115, it bends gravity. People were like, that's bullshit, not possible. And then they synthesize it 30 years later. So, and that's evidence. That's not like conspiracy theory or anything. Real. That's legitimate evidence. He's talking about something. People were calling you bullshit on it. And then they actually synthesize something like that, whether it's stable or unstable. That's hard evidence.
Well,
your story has credibility now.
They synthesized an element 115, but we can't really verify what the properties of it are because it disintegrates in a matter of like seconds.
Well, but that's what I was talking about with stable versus instability. Right. And
so you can't really count it as proof until you prove that it can, gravity.
Well, no, because he was also saying that these isotopes and these elements, it depends on how you mix them, what amount of a specific element to create that, or a specific amount of one property to balance out another. Like we have multiple levels of hydrogen and oxygen, and there are multiple different isotopes that will create the same elements. But there's still water or H2O, but like you can have different densities and whatnot in terms of these different elements. So just because we couldn't manufacture the same element itself, the fact that there was still a version of this element being created by us when he was being told he was completely insane, it still gives credence to the fact that he was correct in the sense that you can still make this element. Whether it lasted 1 second or 2 seconds, it still was made and still was it was still synthesized, right? At the end of the day, that's something that you need to take into consideration when you're talking about these things.
Doesn't it have to stick around to be an element?
No, what it has to be is stable versus unstable, right? So a stable element will just like you make it and it lasts a long time. But with an unstable element, like you create it and then it collapses in a second.
Exactly.
But regardless, it's
my question for that is
the heavy metals are very unstable things.
Okay, never mind then.
There's many unstable elements.
No. That what Crimson said answered my question.
Yeah.
Got
right.
there.
Like once you get past a certain point on the periodic table, everything becomes increasingly unstable. So by the time you get to element like 111 through like 116, they last for fractions of a second, at least the versions we can synthesize.
Okay. Right. But the ability to synthesize that element in any way should still be taken seriously in the sense where like if you're disclaiming someone for talking about this element, like doesn't mean we just don't have the technology to create this element in a stable version. But the fact that we were able to create it at all, I think proves to show that like his story has some form of credibility. right? I'm not saying
I
that.
Still see it because I think the bigger, more important proof is what the element actually, or how the element actually affects the world around it. If it does what he says it does, then yes. But we haven't been able to prove that. Just because it exists, because there's a thing that matches.
That's fair. That's fair.
Like the idea of there being an element 115, sure, but we still need to know if it does what it does. He says it does.
That's fair, and unfortunately, I hate to put the tinfoil hat on.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
That's where I was going next. I actually don't. But the fact that he calls it out of what it is, and the fact that it was at least made for 1 second or a fifth of a second, it shows at least some credibility to what I'm talking about. Now, does this have anything to do with this jellyfish UFO? Not at all. But I wanted to make sure that.
Oh, does it not?
No, it has nothing to do with it.
Oh my gosh! Why are we talking about it?
Fuck you, Caleb. Let's go into. I do, but that's besides the point, Caleb. Don't make me get sentimental. Sentimental. Sorry.
Sentimental.
Yeah.
You're no sandstone.
Don't make me get sentimental. All right, Sam.
Okay.
Don't make me get
He's gone.
on your
He's
ass.
gone. He's gone.
I was waiting for you to just get it to yourself.
Yeah, that's for after the stream, Caleb.
What does that mean?
Sentimental.
Okay, I want to share what you guys think about this. So I think there's a legitimate, like, I don't know what to say, what terminology to pinpoint this on, but like when something happens, there tends to be a whole bunch of news surrounding that specific topic that people tend to like want to dig into it, right? Like, so the train derailment that we were talking about a few days ago, Caleb, do you remember? So like when one thing, so this news just got dropped about different, or this UFO that looks like a probe droid started to pop up, and I'm starting to see a whole bunch of stuff. This comes from Think Tank. Don't really like this Twitter page, but there are a few things that I'd like to bring up, and unfortunately, my internet fucking sucks.
Yeah, Twitter video sucks balls.
Okay, but here's a good one. Does this not look like the piece of technology that we've been talking about right now, right?
That looks like a homeless man with a parachute made out of garbage.
Hover over yours, and we'll go back and forth.
It looks like District 9.
Hover over yours, Damio, and we'll go back and forth. Ready?
Wait, what? Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. And then go back to mine.
Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah. So, I see what you're saying. Sorry. Yeah. Oh.
We both did it.
Yeah. So it's not identical, but there's a few other things.
I could see it. Like,
so
I kind of get it.
Different angle.
Do you see what I'm trying to get at, though? That like all of a sudden now there's a bunch of shit about this probe droid looking
these jellies.
Yeah. Okay. This one is seen in Poland. That looks a lot more like the video we were talking about.
That's
right?
Make that big. Can you stop that and make that big? I really want to see that.
Yeah.
Can you stop that?
Ask nicely.
Hey, can you grab it and make it big?
Can you stop that and make it big?
Oh my god, are you asking me to make it big?
No. This one's kind of wild, though. That looks pretty similar to what we were looking at in the video. And this is apparently in Poland.
So that's how I know it's fake.
Oh, I was going to say,
there's not a damn thing
Shut the fuck up, Caleb.
worth looking up in Poland.
It's a flood spore.
Okay, dog.
What is that music?
Dog, give me your honest perspective on this one.
What the heck was that music?
Doesn't matter.
That's Meemaw's great band. What are you talking about?
I would say let's bear in mind that some people make like foam things to put over their drones.
Yep.
Okay.
There is a possibility of that. I've seen people turn them into like giant spiders and fuck with people.
That's cool.
So okay. This one I want to call bull.
Somebody shitty attempt making the program.
This one I want to call
speaking in Spanish.
Why are
covered in foil?
Why are they all starting to show like this whole
It kind of looks like it's someone walking.
But this is what I'm saying. Like all of a sudden, there's a whole bunch of footage of these different. This probe droid looking UFO wasn't a thing. It wasn't a thing until literally last week. Now all of a sudden, this page is blowing shit up about all this different footage. This is one I did want to show. Like again, this is the stance Rolo takes when he meets up with Roman.
I was gonna say it looks like Roman preparing for one of his
Rolo's preparing for Roman.
Yes.
What the fuck? It'd be the other way around.
Let's title.
Oh, look at that.
Let's title that the Rolo Rome cast, or the Rolo Rome Blast.
Prepare to be probed.
Yeah. No. But honestly, it's like all of a sudden after this new footage is exposed, all of this other shit is starting to pop up with a bunch of different looking, similar looking.
Could be Photoshop.
So here's my question.
Could be Photoshop.
Do you have any of this stuff outside of Twitter?
Water.
Well,
I will say
these other ones, no. But
so my assumption of this is that that there are videos of something going on in the Middle East in 2018, and that this account has said, "Oh my God, this is an awesome time to start earning money on Twitter."
Well, okay,
and has a bunch of traffic now.
Caleb, this is what I kind of wanted to bring up, that I don't buy it, right? This is why I brought up the whole train derailment thing, because back when that last year, when the trail derailment happened, all of a sudden you started seeing a bunch of accidents on a railroad, right? This is kind of my point. I'm not really buying that this stuff is actually happening. I think it does actually a disservice to the footage that we were looking at before, because that, at least you could say there's a possibility, not fact, but the possibility that the military had some sort of a footage of a piece of technology that was operating like this. So we had never, and this is why I wanted to bring this up, because we had never seen anything that looked like a probe droid before. Jeremy Corbell leaks this footage about the stuff in Iraq, and then all of a sudden this account and other accounts are posting things about a piece of technology that is similar looking as the other one. So
tentacly and standing there menacingly.
Menacingly.
So I mean, that's essentially all I had to share for tonight, guys. I want to know, like, let's keep going with the conversation on it. I don't think that what we just showed on that Twitter page is really true at all. I think it's almost a engagement farming situation where they're like, okay, this one got a lot of views. Let's start finding random videos that can kind of relate to that. So what are your guys' thoughts? Dog, let's start with you.
So I'm looking now for like the explanations for it, right? And the main thing that I find is it's a camera smudge. Well, I'm looking at a video now and the crosshairs don't move, but the fucking thing does. So that's like, it's not like they stay in sync the whole time, right? A camera smudge doesn't move with the focal point of the lens. That's unless they got some kind of weird camera that the fucking lens does this for some reason.
Especially with like the original footage, you don't see that. You see it shaking as compared to the actual crosshair.
Do what now?
You see it shaking as compared to the actual crosshair, where it sits there and that little smudge will like vibrate and shift back and forth.
Well, it eventually catches up to it and gets lower and passes it and everything. What is head scratching to me is in Iraq, can't quite don't think that. I can't tell if that looked like cans on the base or. Okay, this says glides over a military base, so. I really don't know. In 2018 as well, I mean, drones were pretty good then. I'd need a little bit of time to digest, but what's really throwing me off is the IR thermal, the way it could change its heat signature, it appears.
Right.
Unless, I mean, I'd say I don't want to reach, but that's kind of the fun here, right? Like we could speculate, we can do this. I'm not telling you this is what's happening here, but you could speculate that could be some kind of paneling that periodically adjusts. Like maybe it sensed. I'm sounding wild. Maybe it sensed something, possibly oriented in its direction, and it changed its paneling to, cloak itself better. And that threw off the imaging, and because it kind of, well, you know what? I want to watch it again. It kind of seems like it changes colors when it's close to things. See, so it went dark when it passed the goats. White over the buildings. I'm reaching here, but
not really. I know
white over the buildings. Here comes a person. Didn't change. Okay, my theory shot down. I don't know. Oh shit.
Yeah, you weren't showing it. That's a janky looking military base. Yeah.
So it went black by the goats.
It's a Bidenomics military base.
Hey, Gray Pilgrim, please don't be racist on my channel. I don't approve of that at all, ever.
Uh-huh. Sure.
Wrong. You're fake news.
Look, here's the thing. Fine. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
I am.
Yeah. I really don't know, man. It could be a drone. It could be a drone from another planet / dimension. I don't know.
That's a very strange shape for a drone.
It is, but what if those are sensory dangles?
So one thing, I literally just thought about this.
So you'd fly around with your sensory dangle hanging out?
Do y'all know how
situation called for it? It was warm enough.
Do y'all know how camouflage was used on ships in convoys during World War I and World War II?
Yeah, they threw a blanket over it.
No. So the sides were painted to look like different portions of the ship. So that if you were looking through, if the U-boat captain's looking through, and he's looking at the battleship, it looks like he sees the front of the battleship actually in the middle of the battleship, so that when he aims and fires, he misses the battleship.
So they paint an optical illusion.
Yeah. So they painted an optical illusion on the side of these ships.
Like 3D, like, oh no, that's the front.
Yep.
I get.
Okay, but
so my question would be, what are the possibilities that this is kind of an optical illusion on something else?
It goes over the buildings.
So
what if it's a drone, stealth drone, something like that, that's painted or irradiated in such a way that it gives off a different feature?
I mean, that's 100% in the realm of question.
Yeah.
Now
Chris
is talking about it sure isn't flying, or sure isn't flying like it's trying to evade sight. It's got to be cloaking itself. That's my biggest issue with this video. Is it doesn't appear to be trying to like evade anything.
Yeah.
Right? Like it looks like it's just hovering and like, okay, well, I don't want to be detected, I'm gonna like give off a certain signature in some sense. I don't know. I'm too rock-headed to really put an answer as to why I think this, but I tend to think that like there's something more going on to what I understand, right?
Could be.
No, I agree. I think Dog was on to something when he said that it changes color when it goes near certain things.
It seemed to not really hold up to that theory while I watched it.
Well, it held up to it until it got to that open area.
Maybe it's the moonlight.
Dancing in
Could
the
be that.
moonlight.
I don't know.
Could be the air tonight.
Yeah, I mean, this one again, I wish there was more to pull up on it. It's not. It's a brand new story, so a lot of this is going to be speculation based. I'd like to go around the horn though and kind of give your thoughts on what.
How many times you pulled your own horn? Sorry.
So the people that want to be serious tonight. No, but actually though, like, because I'm still not convinced that it's 100% out of this world or out of the possibility of human made. I think there's a lot of technology we as civilians don't know. The common consensus is that like government tends to be about 20 years ahead of the civilians technology. And I would argue that that's not out of the question, that what we're looking at might be something that we don't understand. Doesn't necessarily mean it's outside of that time range that like governments wouldn't be able to like create something that can
how long ago did like we start getting drones and stuff, like the little ones that could just sit there and hover and go in all these different directions?
I know we had drones in Afghan in 2012 when I was there. We had some that looked like fucking trash cans that sound like a damn helicopter. Just, I mean, they were so like we pointed our right, like we were this close to popping one. They're so annoying. And then you had the other kind that were like glider styles, right? Yep. Like, but they would fucking scoot and they would keep going, but they didn't land. Like they weren't helicopter like, they were like prop plane like.
Yeah.
So, like I said, they had the trash can one, but that was, I mean, that thing was fucking huge. And you know, obviously everything's gotten a lot more compact, but I'd say around like 2010 or so. I know sure the military was using.
Well, like just for like civilian, like recreational use. Like when did we start getting those little toys that everyone?
5-10 years ago at most.
Yeah, I'd say about 5.
So you think that they would be able to develop something much more advanced than that in about 10 years? Do you think we'll see something?
I think if we got 5 to 10 years ago, if we got those small little hovering drones. If we got those 5 to 10 years ago, about 10 years before that, they had those. So
2015.
Yeah. So I would argue what they have now compared to what they've released for public purchasing is a lot more advanced. Go on, Dog.
We've been doing drones in the military since 2001 with the Mark I Predator that carry the anti-tank missiles in Afghanistan.
And those are just the armed ones.
Glider types.
Yeah, those are just the armed ones. The Israeli military had the camera ones in 1975. They used those during the 6-Day War.
Yeah, that's true. They had the spy planes.
So,
aren't you like only 7 now, Ronnie?
A toy helicopter and a drone.
An RC helicopter is very different from a drone.
I think it's very possible what we're looking at right now.
Similar.
Legitimately could be. It might not be U.S. technology, which is why it looks so weird. But I think there's a high possibility that
the Germans, bro. It's the Glock.
Yeah.
Could be Israeli too.
I'm not going to make any German jokes because they get this channel taken down.
No, honestly,
don't do that.
It could be the Glock.
Yeah. Yeah, this is an odd one. It definitely looks like.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me put the full tinfoil hat on.
Oh shit! Here we go.
Could it be an actual probe droid, right? Like in the sense where it's coming from an interplanetary place and checking.
Are we harboring rebels? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Are they up there in Canada? Bunkered
Is that
down?
why 3PO is here? He's part of the resistance?
We're harboring some people.
First off, we know exactly where the aliens are. They're in high school in New York.
They're in Antarctica.
I don't deal with racism on this channel well. So everyone say
you're fake news.
Everyone say goodnight to King's advisors. Look, I'm not saying I believe this. I'm saying, okay, look at Star Wars and what the probe droid did. What if it came from a different planet and they were like, let's go check out the military bases and what they were dealing with? Putting it out there. Cards on the table. I'm a conspiracy theorist.
Those weird monkeys that we saw a couple million years ago? Well,
what did
now
he
they have
just
nuclear
say?
weapons.
Caleb.
Hey,
what?
This isn't a stream about the East India Trading Company, all right?
Jeez. That's for
Wait, were y'all laughing at what I said or what Crips and Law said?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely, bro.
Yeah, so I was laughing at what Law said.
Well, good.
I caught your joke. I knew what you meant.
Yeah.
I didn't even think that was going to be a response when I made that joke.
I picked up what you were putting down.
You smelling when I'm stepping in?
What was your question, Damian? I'm sorry.
The thing is that it being another organization or even ours around a military installation isn't high out of the possibility whatsoever.
We had aliens at the mall in Miami.
You have a lot of aliens.
You
have a lot of aliens in Florida, to be fair. Oh, see, Caleb.
Sorry, what were you saying, dog? Wait, whoa, where'd he go?
He just had to go.
He jumped ship.
He had to go advise a king or something. I don't know.
He doesn't do much of that anymore.
Yeah, I guess my stream isn't as important as a couple other people's are, but it's all right. I'll just
if only you had
thousands of subscribers.
Yeah, if only I had thousands of
subscribers. Be a sourpuss.
If only I had thousands of subscribers, he would maybe stay.
Let's see, is Jay
but no, actually, this one's kind of funny, but you know, it's not really that.
So I do have one thing, like. What are the odds that this is all just some, like, the reason it's being circulated around is it's just another distraction? Like, this was intentionally released just to distract from some information.
Right. First off, never tell me the odds. Second, it could be. You might be on something.
Yeah, they're trying to distract us for something that's actually.
I mean, what's happening to be distracted? It's worked.
I mean,
I don't know what
Hunter
else
Biden's
going on.
running from
the GOP debate.
Probably something to do with Gaza and hummus and all that shit over there. So
hummus.
I love hummus.
Hummus is great.
The old chickpea dip.
I don't fuck with your chickpea dip.
You don't fuck. That's the problem.
Okay, we're getting derailed. Well, listen, guys. Any last thoughts on this stuff? I'm pretty much talked out on the possibilities, speculation, whatnot. Just want to know what you guys think on this.
I think if anything, it's probably some form of military technology, and we're just sort of seeing it as a like initial test of its capabilities in this footage.
Somebody probably has a hilarious story of how he flew a drone into the power line and limped it back, and it looked all fucking dangly and fucked up. And this is what we're looking at.
Could be that too. Yeah.
I've heard some funny stories from my cousin about some stuff. He's in the Air Force, so.
Well, listen, guys. Thank you, Dog. Thank you, Rolo. Thank you, Crimson Law, for showing up tonight. Thank you for everyone in the chat. King Chris, Ronnie, Pilgrim, Purist. Thank you, Caleb, for showing up. And who else am I forgetting? I think that's everyone. But hey, I appreciate you everyone for stopping by. And
thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you, Daimyo.
We enjoy our Wednesdays here.
Yeah, show some Daimyo appreciation. Hit the like button already.
Everybody, like and subscribe. And you know what? Check out his Discord.
Real shit.
Ooh, yeah, that's another thing. If you
drop the Discord link.
My Discord is crazy. I don't do this a lot. But yeah.
Join the Discord, get kicked by Richmond.
It's a time. It's a time.
Discord, get kicked by Richmond. That's the motto. Join the Discord. Talk with Roman.
Yeah, sure.
Good conversation. I appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, no, of course, dude. I always love doing these. They're really fun.
This was a great one tonight. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, totally. And then also subscribe to Star Wars Dog, Crimson Law, and am I forgetting anyone?
Main the ones with channels. So
yeah, no. Subscribe to Star Wars Dog, Crimson Law, and go check out RG Energy. Rolo's there every Wednesday morning. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. I thought this was a really fun conversation. We will see you next week. And if you like the pop culture stuff, Sunday. And then also Friday, I'll be doing a hangout stream with all the friends, and we get a little bit wild over there. But
keep your eye on the horizon for the YouTubes. He's around.
Oh, yeah. Everyone, peace out. Love you.
See you later, guys. Thank you.